Indeed, and greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again on another stream, another opportunity to be asleep, awake, or aware. And interestingly enough, I found out yesterday that this symbol, at least in ancient commandments, some sort of Viking tradition, that symbol means sleep. Meltmore to me means like to relax as well. You know, if you tell someone, "Hey, dude, how about you melt more?" It's like telling them, "Hey, how about you relax?" So like there was just again this moment of synchronicity that happened. And being asleep isn't necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing. You know, if you're sleeping to the detriment of others, then maybe it might be a little bit of a bad thing. But in and of itself, sleep can be good. But so can being awake, and so can being aware. You know, it's just a matter of awareness, a matter of perspective, a matter of character, a matter of the role you want to play. And I'll tell the story in a bit. I'll give us a few moments before we get really into it. Kira Burr, thank you for joining me, friend. It's so nice to have you here. How are you doing? How's the foot doing? I feel like I've asked a few times, but maybe your comment got lost. Hey, beloved friend, thank you for the butterfly as well. I've really been resonating with the butterfly as of late. Transformation vibes. Things are changing, friends. Things are changing fast. I might actually, I might actually be okay. Wow. Maybe, this thing that I've been been touting. Believe in yourself. Believe in the whole. Believe in yourself as the whole. Maybe it has, it just has a little bit of power. You know, like even though I believe these things and I understand these things, sometimes our egoic mind can really get in the way of that. Just being aware of that possibility of it getting in the way, it gives us a little bit more leeway. Eden, reading the title, I feel like I'm reading one of a Fruit Cup's books. I love the rhythm. That makes me so happy. Yes, these things have to be simple. You know, if we should be able to teach these things to little Fruit Cup, and she should be like, oh, I don't understand. So I guess there's no time like the present. Kayana, thank you for joining me, friend. It's so nice having you, brother Ryan. Thank you for joining me as well. I'm still healing. Things have been very difficult in general. Thought general. Love you. I'm so sorry to hear that, my friend. I feel things have been very difficult in general for a lot of us, especially during this time. I'm thinking right now about Jem as well. I'm thinking about the Haywire Hill. I'm thinking about you, Kira Burp. Like there is so much happening, and you have on top of the so much that's happening, so much happening just in your immediate life as well. And I know you're aware. I know you're painfully aware sometimes, Kira Burp. So it can be difficult. I know. This story that I want to tell you, friends. Maybe it's not a story necessarily. Now there's wind again. Maybe it's not a story necessarily. Maybe just a picture that I want to paint. I'll paint this picture for you, friends, soon. Where is Gemma? Like Gemma is a little bit like she's still in England. I am. Man, there's weed everywhere over me. I'm still sure that she's in England. I just feel like she's a little bit withdrawn. She recently mentioned that she feels a little bit low energy, and it makes it harder to socially interact. And that's okay. That's completely okay, like going to sleep a little bit after having been awake is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And just send her love, just send Jem some love. That's all you need to do. You already are doing it. Ishkirari, alright, I'm watching. It's nice to have you watching, friend. I'll share a little bit more soon. Sorvinia, it's nice to have you, friend. Do you dare to care? So thankful to see you all this morning slash afternoon. So thankful to see you, Aunt B. Thank you for joining us, friend. I was just thinking of her. There we go. Send her some love. Professor Goo, thank you for the power. I appreciate that. Need to work on that aim. I mean, it's okay. Shoots at Gem, little love hearts. Need to get better at aiming soon. soon. No more missing it. Just hitting. Hey, sorry, Candace. I was asleep. Now I'm awake, and now I am aware. I will not be going back to sleep because my baby is apparently having his jiu-jitsu classes at 3 a.m. Baby kicks at 3 a.m. for an alarm clock. Yay! Indeed, they are changing. I just feel maybe, if anything, on a genetic level, your little boy knows that things need to get done. And he's like, yeah, 3 a.m. in the morning, mom. Come on, mom. Things need to be getting done. Absolutely no chill. It sounds beautiful nonetheless. Namaste to you as well, friend. Okay. So the difference, if there is any, not. Yeah, okay. The difference between being asleep, awake, and aware, and all of them have a place. And we talked about climbing up the mountain recently, and people that are unwilling to climb up the mountain might be might be asleep, right? People climbing up the mountain would be awake, seeing, oh, there's something to be seen at the top of the mountain, and the people that reach the top of the mountain are aware, right? But all of them have different roles to play. So the story picture I want to paint for you today is one of three people walking onto an airplane. The first person is just a normal person, a layman, if you will, right? Doesn't know much about planes, doesn't know much about the world in general, doesn't know much about air and how it functions, doesn't know about pressure differentials, doesn't understand engines, doesn't understand any of these things. And they get on the plane and they know that they're going to be flying. They know that they're going to be going from one point to another, but they don't understand any of the intricacy of what is happening, right? They don't understand why it is they're going to be flying through the air, like what really is happening for them to be flying through the air. The second person that walks onto the plane is an engineer, an aeronautical engineer, of all of them. So the aeronautical engineer would be awake because he knows how these things work. He understands engines, he understands pressure differentials, he understands lift, he understands the shape of the wings, he understands the bend of the wings, he understands how fuel gets, transported, where the fuel is stored, he understands the, structural integrity of the tube that is the plane. He's awake to the nature of this plane, right? He understands on an intrinsic level what this plane does and how it does it the way that it does it. And then the last person that walks onto the plane is the pilot, who is not only aware. It's okay. I just made a little bit of a black line on the white outside. He's not only awake, but he's also aware of this plane, having physical control, being able to move this plane in one direction or another, while at the same time understanding, having the awakeness of understanding how this aircraft works that he's flying. And just to think of that as an analogy to this life, to this spiritual journey that we're all a part of, to think of these different parts of ourselves, the part of ourselves that might be asleep to the nature of how things are working, to the nature of how things should be working, how things are progressing as we're flying through the air. There's a part of us that's awake, that sees, that sees there's some stuff going on, that notices, that feels into it, that understands that there might be more to it than just what you might be seeing when you're asleep. And then there's the highest part of ourselves that is just the pure awareness that that is you, that you're the one in control. You're the one flying the plane, you're the one creating the journey, you're the one choosing the destination. Huh? How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel just kind of sitting with that mental experiment? And again, all of those parts are necessary, right? The engineer was necessary to build the entire plane. The passenger is necessary to justify the plane being built. And the pilot is necessary to practice his awareness to be able to fly this plane. So we're not pretending like any one of them is more valuable than the other. All of them have a role to play in that scenario. But realizing that you are the one playing all of those roles, the ultimate quintessential you that you are, is playing all of those roles. And then picking, at least in this life, what role you want to continue playing. Hmm? Awake, asleep, or aware. You're here for three reasons: to love, to serve, and to remember. And what you need to remember is to love and serve. And when you love and serve, you start to remember. Asleep, awake, aware. That's what you are, friend. You know, the whole Trinity understanding is very present in so many religions for a reason. But it's still, an abstraction. It's still an abstraction, trying to encapsulate what unity actually means. True non-duality is a tricky one. The wind is like, oh hey dude, heard you're trying to roll joints. Heard so. Would be a shame if there's constant wind, and then the wind stops after you're done rolling, wouldn't it? No, I like a challenge. I do like a challenge. Bring it on, wind. Suddenly you just get swapped up, with tornadoes sucked into the world, into the outside world. With the passing of Finbax, I think that is really bothering her. Finbax passed? What happened? On B, I didn't know about that at all. I didn't know about this at all. Goodness. One of our friends here, a longtime supporter of hers, like bought almost every snoof page, has passed. What happened? Like, I remember one of the first Snoop pages that I saw Jem do, Finbax was left top. And I remember seeing his name and just kind of sending him good vibes. Like, I didn't know even. What the hell? Coupled with Reddit Legal sending her a message about her snooze. Reddit Legal sent her a message about her making snooze. What? Are they copyrighted or what? They want money for it? Yeah, it's nice and all that you've brought millions, literally millions of people to our platform and kept them on a live stream. That's cool and all. But how about we send you legal messages about using our intellectual property? It's like, oh, okay, thank you, Reddit. All right. All right. No goodness, I'm getting triggered now. Couples regular legal. I don't know if that is what it is, but life stresses, I do know, friend. Like, just send her love, even in this moment, even in mind. The love that you send will be felt. I don't know what to say about that here. I have some strong opinions. Oh, me too. And I'd rather not let them out right now. What about those under the mountain? That's probably me. Like, we actually talked about that a little bit, Sarvinia. Like, people digging into the mountain are trying to find the resources within the mountain, digging deeper and deeper into the darkness, not realizing that what they're looking for is light. So, I don't really consider you someone underneath the mountain, Servinia. I feel like you're definitely on this journey up the mountain with us. But that's just my, personal bias. Do tell me I'm full of shit. Please. Be like, nah, Mel. Nah. Hell nah. And I'll be like, okay, you know you better than I do. Feel free to DM me if you wish to express about disrupting multi-stream. Thank you, Servinia. Please do feel free, friends. You guys are taking a bubble bath with me, and I'm gonna shave my head and rearrange my Zen space because it's just sorrow here at the moment. What's your day like? My day was a little bit. I feel like my days are very short as of late because I'm still in the late night sleeping pattern, so I'm waking up like around 11ish, and then I cook myself a meal, and then by the time I'm done eating, my day is basically finished. Well, finished in the way it used to be. I come in, I can stream, and then after the streams, I usually try and like decompress a little bit, calm down. But my day's been going well, Kira Burb. My days have been going, relatively well for most of them. And I feel, it's just been the practices that I've been a part of as well. I'm just trying to stay aware, Kira. Genuinely, I'm just trying to stay aware, trying to stay present in this moment, because I can get myself so worked up if I start, trying to imagine what the future could be, should be, and what the past was and should have been. I I can get myself pretty worked up pretty quickly. So I don't know if I'm giving advice or just trying to be here with you, Kira Burp. But thank you for taking a moment to be present. I appreciate you so much. Also, I'm also on Gem slash Hwire Heal Haywire Heels Discord. Thank you for letting our friend know. I'm making you a new beanie for your shaved head. So beautiful. It's amazing. I don't need a bath. Thank you. It's gorgeous outside. Uncle Becky is getting some footage of the critters that headed to work. I want to clean and get rid of stuff. Spring vibes. I'm happy that you were saying that as well. On B, my sister is also now going through a cleansing spree where she's trying to throw away things that, as you're saying, get rid of stuff that are no longer serving her, that she isn't, touching in her immediate environment, and it's just taking up space. She wants to actually, get rid of that. So even though it's turning to winter this side, she feels that same energy on B. So it's so beautiful to see it reflected in you as well. Dunk's head in soapy water. I think DeMello called that the me and the I. It's a tough distinction. It is, friend. The me, I don't think it's that tough. The me is the thing that you think you are, right? When you say your name, or when you hear your name said, you say that's me, right? But that name that you have has been projected onto you and has been attached to so many different perspectives, so many different experiences, that you are who you are right now because of all of those experiences, right? Where the I is the experiencer, the fundamental thing that is experiencing, and the me is the one that tells itself a story about what is being experienced. I don't feel it's that tough of a distinction. It might be a tough of a distinction to make with inside of ourselves to kind of like really feel into that truth. But that's why meditation, is a cool practice, because that's basically what you're doing. You're taking into consideration, if you're closing your eyes and stuff, the awareness, the observer that is, and then letting everything pass through you instead of trying to see yourself as the things that are passing. Right? Thank you, Joran. It's nice to have you here, friend. What music do you listen to? At the moment, the music I'm listening to the most is a genre called psychedelic trance. It has, progressive psychedelic trance, I should technically say. It has bass lines, it has, moments of calm, and then it has moments of calm between the different bass lines. And that's like the formula for psytrance. It's a nice music to dance to, high energy, kind of gets you moving. And I do like that. I do listen to, 21 Pilots and John Bellion and AJR and Imagine Dragons. And I'm trying to think of someone like Rob the Universe as well, but there's another word. Life goes on and on and on. On and on and on. Can't remember his name. I'm sorry, dude. Man, I need to say people's names so many times before I remember it. There's too much. There's too much stuff in my brain already. I'm not sure, Meld. We didn't see him for a bit, and she reached out to a friend of his IRL. No one had heard from him, so they did a house check and he had passed. Man, that's making me feel some things on B. Oh goodness. More things than I signed up to feel. And yet now I'm trying to to put it in context of this asleep, awake, aware, where I feel, and this is of complete conjecture, so please don't get angry at me. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but the in my current mindset, the current fractal I'm playing with, the asleep mindset would be the one completely outraged, like devastated into infinitum because of this loss. The awake part of myself wants to say, be grateful for the love that he shared and the good that he's brought into the world. And the aware part of myself knows that he's not gone at all, even. Like he's still here with us, in spirit and soul, in source, in the universal consciousness. But now I'm thinking of it in this context of, if you're going to be talking to someone from one point of perspective, let's call it, you have to take up that point of perspective yourself, maybe, or at least take up the compassion for that point of perspective when you're going to be interacting with someone who has that point of perspective. Sending you love, Finbacks, and to the ones that love you. Ooh, I saw a tree. Like at first I saw these two planes of white, and then between those planes of white they started separating, and as soon as they created space, like fractals exploded out of that space. Love to you, Finbacks. You're doing good, friend. I'm sure. Absolutely heartbreaking. It is. It's embarrassing. It embarrassingly took me until yesterday to realize why Melt was streaming at a different time. Daylight savings, right? I do believe. Like, I think the only reason I know about it is because Ryan was telling me about it in context of the yoga sessions that we do. Blushing in the sky, it was a friend who was tuning into our streams. Unfortunately, he has passed. I wish I knew how. Like, that's the biggest thing for me, is just the curiosity. But I know that that curiosity is a selfish thing as well. The same way that, let me not say that. I think I've been trying to, after reading Frank Ostaszewski's book, thinking of like extreme grief to the point where you're starting to hurt yourself and ones around you as something that's selfish, because you're so attached to this physical body, not realizing that this physical body isn't the thing that contains the thing that it is you actually love, that you want that physical body and the thing that it is you love to stay here indefinitely, when the whole process of this existence is change. It is for that thing that it is you love to continue on to unity. And trying to keep it here is, in and of itself, a selfish thing. And sometimes, man, my slime feels so throaty. Yes, my throat feels so slimy. Anyway, like, it can be so difficult. It can be so difficult for us to not want to let go of these people. And then when we try and like hold on to someone, that person might even be willing to suffer for you. Might even be willing to continue holding on, like past when they were supposed to hold on, just to be there for you. And that can be something that can be extremely selfish from your point of from you, even though it would be done out of love from another person. Like, love is still true in that scenario. Like it doesn't stop being true. It's just trying to reduce the suffering between us, between the ones that are suffering as well. It's such a difficult thing to balance. It finally clicked. How do you deal with anxiety? Breathing. Bill, when I get anxious, I just focus on my breathing. It's the only thing that has really helped me. Like creating different tension points inside my hands, for example, and then releasing those tension points, focusing on, you can call them chakras, or you can call them just different parts of your humanity, focusing on, am I safe right now? Am I secure right now? Am I stable? I'm not going to fall over or hurt myself. Right? Check. Am I feeling emotions right now? Do I have love for my family or for a significant other? Do I have love for myself? Sacral. Check. Do I have willpower? Do I have the ability to go and do things? Do I have the ability to experience things in this outside world, to create experiences in this outside world? Eh? Check. Heart. Do I have compassion, a love, an appreciation for this entire realm of existence? Check. Throat. Can I, properly articulate the things that I want to say, and can I listen to people and actually hear them? Not only listen to them, but hear them. And then the last one, the last before the last one, third eye is intuition. Do I have intuition? Have I had moments in my life where my intuition served me? And then the crown chakra, realizing that I am not separate from the whole. I am connected, fed by, constantly empowered by all that is. And just kind of taking you through that cycle can also help with anxiety, friend. I hope that those few tips helped you. It will be better when I can accept reality without there being a space rock. I'm not really functioning at the moment. I love you guys so much. He's not gone. Kira Burb. That's the thing as well. That's what you have to realize. The energy that is Kira Burb, that is Space Rock, is not gone. He's still a part of this infinity. And I know that can, in and of itself, be painful as well. But realize that there are an infinite amount of him as well. And there are an infinite amount of yous. And there are an infinite amount of scenarios where things actually worked out the way that you thought they would. And this part of your existence, this moment you're experiencing right now, Kira Burb, you're experiencing because this is what you've chosen. This is the wisdom that was in your soul, in your heart, and you had to make decisions as a result of that. And instead of, and I'm not, I feel like I'm trying to tell you what to do. And I don't want to. I can see suffering, and that hurts me more than anything. Instead of thinking of it as this needs to be this way or this way, again, let going of those expectations. Like the expectations you had for that relationship, letting them truly go and freeing yourself from that. Because we do not have any control. Not really. Not in the way that we think we have control. But we have all of the control in the way that we can't think that we have control. And I can see you on your journey. Again, I can see the hero's journey in your life right now, Kira Verb. You're experiencing the dark night of the soul. And you're going to grow from that. You're going to become a more complete, more experienced person at the end of that. And you will absolutely be equipped to help others from that place that you've experienced. Love is true, Kira Burb. I hope you feel better, my friend. Jenny, please message me about this so I can understand. Please do. Thank you, Michelle, for asking. Though apparently Melkin confirms that Africa do not observe daylight savings, so it will be a different time for me from tomorrow. Then our clocks change in the UK. Yeah, to me, we basically stay stable on our time zones. I didn't realize. Lisa, thank you for joining me, friend. Big hug to you as well. Just not the same time in the US. It's annoying. Yeah, it is. We're all family here. I was in a deep relationship with my best friend of 25 years, and now we have zero contact, and most likely will not ever again. Like, the thing, my initial response to hearing that stuff, Kira Burp, is to ask questions. But I know that it's not necessarily the place to ask those questions. So I'm just going to be in this moment with you. We love and appreciate you, Kira. You are more powerful than anything. Definitely, absolutely more powerful than this relationship ending. Been hitting metal and classic piano, to a lesser extent violin lately. Really wanted to start playing again and pick up a violin. No idea what in looking at what I see in a violin though. I get you, friend. I like, for some reason at one point in my life I also wanted to play the violin. I do think it's a very eloquent instrument and very, I want to say the words coming to mind is angelic almost. Ah, that kind of vibes. At least that's what it happens in my mind when I think violin. So like 100% Smoogs, I encourage it, friend. Thank you for joining us again. To being asleep, awake, and aware. Because with an infinity, everything. With an infinity, everything. Indeed, they are changing. Love to all of you who need it. Thank you, guys. Candace, for sending love, friend. Wow, that's tough. Sending you positive vibes. Thank you for sending the love, my friend. We call us the space rock, each half. So now there is no space rock. Feels much like someone ripped me in half, but life goes on. You are both halves already, Kira Burb. You are the masculine and the feminine, the Shiva and the Divine Mother. You're that, friend. You cannot be ripped in half. This feeling you're feeling is that feeling of separation, right? You had this love, this beautiful connection, and now because that connection is broken, you feel separated. But you are not ever separate. You cannot be separated. If you had to be separated, you would just die in seconds. Just from this planet's atmosphere, you would die in seconds. Never mind the very source that is you. You would just cease to be if you were separate for a split second. And here you are, Kira Burr, feeling, thinking, seeing, breathing, lighting incense and candles, being able to make works of art, having beautiful entities living around you. Like, I'm not exactly sure, but I do believe you still have a significant other, right? In your life as well. I don't know what to say, Kira Burr. I wish I could say something. And I've tried to say things, but I know nothing. I am completely asleep when it comes to relationships. For a reason. For a good reason, Kira Burr. Much love, my dear friend. We love you so much. I'm sorry for the poor news. I'm certain he would want us to celebrate him. I'm sure as well. I'm sure as well. I just wish I knew what he looked like. I want to, summon him in my mind's eye. Please reach out on the Discord if you need any. Thank you. Please do. Hey, Heather. Thank you for joining us as well. That's not insensitive, Mel. It's true. Infinity. Thank you, my beloved friend. It's it's not insensitive, but it can feel to people like it is. I'm not trying to brush it off as nothing. Quite the contrary. I'm trying to elevate it as everything. And kind of like taking that it's everything mindset, at least to me, you as everything mindset, it gives you full responsibility for everything you're going through right now. And the things that we're going through at some points in our existences might be extremely uncomfortable. But why? Why are you experiencing this extreme discomfort? In nature, discomfort is the one driver for evolution. Oh, I'm uncomfortable in this scenario, in this environment, in this food chain, and I'm going to evolve. Literally transform myself to be able to deal not only with this discomfort, but to thrive after getting out of that discomfort. And that's just, what's inside of our DNA right now. Just imagine what we can do consciously. I know what we can do consciously. You are infinity, friend. I am so sad that he passed alone. I'm utterly choked up. Me too, Michelle. Like, there's so many layers. There's so many layers of stuff that I'm feeling. And then the layer that kind of I reach is like, he chose this as well. That's where my mind hits of like, this is horrible. How could this happen? This always happens. There is nothing that really happened because it always happens. And this is what he chose. His life has lived, his experience been experienced, and his death having like kind of like come to fruition. It's coming for all of us eventually. I just wish we were more connected so we can actually, celebrate him, like properly celebrate him. Like I genuinely believe the funerals of the future. Maybe my funeral, like I won't speak for everyone, but my funeral will be an absolute party. It's going to have big speakers and hands full of mushrooms for everyone. That's gonna be my funeral. It should be a celebration of the life that I've lived, not having passed, because you know, look at everything around you. Here I still am. Insensitive. I get you. Thank you, Aunt B. I feel your pain deeply, my friend. I recently lost a long-time best friend. She just ghosted me when I told her I was pregnant. It's not the same, but it's pain. It's going to hurt for a while, and that's okay. You're human. We're here for you. Eden is not the same. Same, but different, but still same. You know, that's the interview quotes coming to my mind. Like being abandoned, feeling that separation, no matter who it is that separates from us, it can be painful. And I'm like, I also, you know, lost a deep best friend. Didn't lose him. He's still out there in infinity, and he's no more than a thought away. Right? In this moment, I can think of all of the loving moments we had, all of the good experiences, all of the unbroken eye contact that we've shared with one another, all of the conversations about infinity, about the nature of us, of our reality, you know, has been had with this man. And just by thinking, just by kind of eliciting the fractal that is this person in my mind, here he is. And not only is he here with me in this moment now, but he is still here in this world with me, still playing his role. Even though that relationship, the context or the capacity that I wanted the relationship, you know, wanted it to continue in, might have ended, that relationship and the love that was shared in that relationship is not gone. Not even close to it. He's not gone. He's not fully in my life, but he's in life. And, you know, where do I draw the line between my life and life? Right? We cannot be separate, friends. Aiden, beloved brother, thank you for joining me. It's so nice to have you here. How are you doing, dude? How's the new job treating you? He was such a kind, supportive person. May we always remember Finn and keep his generosity and love of creativity in our hearts. Saw a butterfly wing that had like shape like this, you know, obviously on both sides, and then a small one kind of like coming at the bottom, separated from the rest of it. Transformation, friends. Going from the worm, dissolving, melting into goo, and then rebuilding yourself as the butterfly. Death is not the end. Amazingly put, sister, because there's so much of that, so much of you, friends. I'm sorry she couldn't be there for you when you needed her, sending you love and light. Does anyone else constantly run into Fibonacci sequences? Yeah, of course, friend. How could you stop? How could you just... my face! There's Fibonacci sequences everywhere, friend. Like, you cannot escape it. It's a self-repeating pattern. It's a fractal. It's literally what this universe is about. Where do you see it the most? Why am I drinking from the bottle? Like a wild animal. Yes, pretends to be proper. I drink from the bottle most of the time. Mm. Wait, what? I'm not sure exactly, Heather. It's been a while. A friend of ours passed. Finbax is his name. At least his username. Whew. I've had some very hard stories of same, and I'll never share because I always think it will make people judge me. Jenny and I, Jenny, I am here for your hurt heart. Thank you for sharing that love. We appreciate you, Shell. Blushing passed. No, Blushing is still alive. Our friend Svenback's passed. I went through similar with my best friend as well. It's crazy that we all kind of went through losing our best friends. And then, weirdly enough, this best friend that I had introduced me to the best friend I have right now. And that's Christian in my life. Yeah, but you friends know how much I love Christian. Sleeping, awakening, and being aware. And we fluctuate between those three as well. We don't stay with one, usually not. I'm good. The new job is a vibe. It's calm, so I like it. I'm currently off of work right now because I'm flying to Colorado soon. I have to drive my sister's U-Haul back to Virginia. I'm gonna pretend like that sounds like a lot of fun. The U-Haul driving, but the road would be amazing. You know, all of the people that you might see in passing will be amazing. Maybe there'll be some cool sports car on the road. That would be amazing. Maybe there'll be some beautiful buildings. Maybe you'll have an Alan Watts or Terence McKenna or Meltmore stream running, you know, just tuning into information, good information, and then just like riding on the road. I wish you luck, Brother Bay. I wish you so much luck. Thank you for being willing to help your sister like that. I like road trips. It's all beautiful. Yeah, there we go. I know. I know. Like to me, the biggest thing with road trips is just the sitting. You know, the sitting and the continuous motor actions. Like that's the thing that gets me. But if you're driving with someone, you can like switch out, and that helps a lot as well. I do like road trips for that reason. You know, if you're doing it with friends, it's amazing. We're gonna need a big old sister meetup and hug soon. I'm sorry, sweetheart. People just make no sense to me sometimes. you want you want to know why? I at least this is my deduction from why people don't make sense sometimes. It's because we're not people. We might be people, but we're not people. Okay. I'm excited for when Mel reads your comment. I'm like so happy I did. You know, instantly upon just recognizing the Fibonacci sequence, my brain was like, yes, there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. I was just like, okay, thank you, brain. Thank you. Enough. I see. I look forward for the day I'm going to get my passport renewed next month. Are you going to be traveling soon, Ninja Peach? Do you need a passport to travel in America? As I said to Jem, while we don't really know how slash why he passed, it ultimately doesn't matter in the end. It doesn't change that they are gone, or the memories we have of that person, and the latter is what we should focus on and remember. You're so right on that, Servinia. What a beautiful point that is to make, actually. Thank you for making me aware. Again, the sleeping perspective would be to, in a theory, want to know what happened. You know, how did this person die? That's important news because they're dead and they died somehow, right? So give me this information. The awake perspective would be this person has died. How they died is none of my business, maybe, you know, like from a logical perspective. And then the aware perspective is that it doesn't actually matter. And that what's truly important is the fact that they've lived. They've shared love, they've shared experience, they've shared moments. And to remember those moments instead of boiling it down to, yeah, these moments, and then they died this way. Kind of like putting a point to it. Beautiful point. Thank you, Servinia. Thank you so much, friend. Whew, being educated, becoming more and more aware, friends. Melt, you recommended that I breathe through my 2 a.m. waking terrors, and I have been trying that. Also, listening to the History of Rome podcast, it helps. I'm happy to hear that, Michelle. Like, not only do I want you to breathe through those, you know, 2 a.m. waking terrors, but I want you to feel those breaths, you know, to almost like add different intentions to those breaths, to like be okay. I'm breathing this in to feel what this terror feels like. Hold for a bit. Now I'm going to be breathing all of that feeling out. I'm breathing in to experience the opposite of the terror that I might be feeling, or to elicit the opposite of the terror I might be feeling. And letting that part of myself die. Like just those two breaths instantly changed my state of mind. Goodness. It's so powerful. Just your ability to program yourself. Again, just breathing is something we do all the time. You know, breathing is pretty normal. But then if you can attach different meanings to the different things that you do as normal, as Ermias Blur drinking water, it makes the thing that it is you're doing more significant, not only to your brain, but as a result of your brain finding more significance in it, so does your body. This infinity within inside of you as well. I love you so much. We love you. So true, Stardust. There we go. I am trying, breathing and picturing a field of flowers. There we go. Yes. So breathing in, seeing these flowers rise up, reaching out for the sunlight. Breathing out, seeing them die and go back into the ground, becoming compost. Breathing in, seeing them sprout and grow into the sunlight. Breathing out, like you can attach anything. So many infinities to that. Picturing a field of flowers. I tried Disneyland, but that's too busy an image. I can imagine, Michelle, but you already have it. So just attach like visual imagery to those breaths of yours as well. Good morning, you beautiful legends. Deal breaker. Thank you for joining us, Brother Bear. It's nice to have you here. How are you doing? Chat, love to the chat, love to melt, love to hear a burp. Thank you for that. Blushing. I can tell you wish so much certain I can tell you with so much certainty that you will never be judged by me. None of us. Like, this is a judgment free zone. There's absolutely no judgment. There's only a want to help, a want to share love with one another, a want to share understanding, feeling, freeing control over the cock. Yeah. Just letting it go, being like, this happened. This happened. It's done. Again, that understanding of forgiveness, to understand that after something has happened, it has happened. And the more you hold on to negative feelings, sadnesses about that, you're the one creating, eliciting that response from a single moment in time into your continued moments in time. Right? That's a sin to yourself, I believe. It's literally you being like, yeah, this horrible thing that happened to me. Let me stretch it out. Oh, so horrible. I'm suffering. It's so horrible. Oh, it sucks so much. Why? Why? Stop doing that. Just put the thing down. Put it down and let's walk away from it into the light. How about that? Oh, this sucks. It hurts. Okay, shit. I have to go, Breath of Bear. Thank you. But stay awake. Stay kind, friends. So much love to you, Aiden. Have a good one, friend. Thank you for spending even a moment with us. I appreciate your time. And you opening your consciousness. I love you, ST, and all of you. We love you. Kira burp to bits. So much. I've seen and heard many things, and I'm not here to look down on anyone. Instead, I choose to be parallel. Yes, equals. Each with some different adjective and verbs in the middle. Feeling that love you're sending, sister. Thank you so much for saying those beautiful words, Lisa. I couldn't put it better myself. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely great. Cheers, my friends. Cheers to you. I don't know if you're leaving right now, Jovan, but sending you so much love as well. Thank you so much for being you. Oh gosh, I came in during the middle. He was addressing you. I thought he was talking about you. Jeez Louise. My heart fell through my feet. Thank you for sharing that love nonetheless, Heather. Ziggy Ziggy Star does send me his love too, and I booped him. There we go. Yeah, dude, get all the love, man. Experience it for yourself. Casey, I'm here. It was Finback's big old hug for all of us. Let's remember him. We are. This stream was for Finback's. Becoming aware of Finback's, being awake to Finback's passing, and not being asleep to that reality anymore. Like I couldn't even have made this up even if I tried. I love you around the back, top and bottom to the front. There we go. Everything you've said has helped, my dear heart, dearest. I see a candle. I instantly saw a candle, big candlestick. It had a little bit of wax dripping down it, and then it had these layers of light. Not all spectrums of light, I guess would be better to say. Thank you, Kira Burp. Oh, thank you. My heart was in my stomach. I was so confused. Your loved friend. Thank you. With this past week, I feel like I've been living in a constant state of all three: asleep, awake, aware. Awareness just internally nags at my overtired mind. I'm an open book though. I feel like these next few months are a huge turning point. They will be. and you're bringing life into this world, during this as well, they're going to play absolutely essential roles. And the amount of love and good energy that we're putting into their lives during this time is going to be that shifting. You're doing it, Eden. You are all three. You are all three. We are all three. We're just trying to live into one of them more than the others, and I can see that you're living into your awareness. You're so aware of the power, of the significance of this. I don't know if opportunity is the right word. Maybe opportunity to raise a life. To bring life into this world. It's beautiful. You're going through a lot. I can. There's this show out called Human Resources. It's pretty vulgar. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it has some truths in it as well. And one of the truths that they really kind of got is what they call a need demon. And these need demons are basically these things that kind of follow us as human beings that need things, right? I need this, I need sleep, I need food, I need water, I need sexual intercourse, I need these things, right? And this baby's need demon is like a monster. It's like dangerous. It just destroys things, screams, ah! It loses his mind, shits itself as a baby. And then the mom's need demon is like this. So the knee demons are depicted as these lines, these strings, and then the string is like all over the place, and then as the string kind of fills the outlines as it goes all over the place, it has like filling again. So like imagine blue spray paint around a string, and then as the string continues into a shape of a kind of like bipedal blob. Like butchering this. It's like complete. It's full. And the mom's knee demon is like the string, still with the spray paint, but it's like just a string with like some spray paint, where it's like dragging itself along, like having completely let go of all of her needs in giving it to the needs of the baby. So I'm not surprised, Eden. Like it's if anything, it's just a sign to the mother that you are asleep, awake, aware. You're so loved, Eden. Thank you for sharing that with me. That scared me to that scared me too a little. Thanks for being a friend. Thank you, friend. Know that you're loved. Blushing, so loved. Do you think people with different personalities type cope with loss, breakups, death differently? Absolutely. I feel there's so much attached to death. Like literally another whole set of infinity attached to death in your life. The way that you experience death growing up, the way that you saw it expressed in the outside world, the understandings you had of it, the upbringing you had, the religious, family that you were part of, the society slash like minor, maybe city or town community that you were part of. There are so many layers to how we deal with death. I feel I'm very fortunate to not have experienced a lot of death in my younger years, and only when I turned 23 I lost family members for the first time. I feel like I'm again being insensitive. It just feels let me say it in this way. It feels like I wasn't allowed almost to experience extreme grief or loss before in my life so that I can form an appropriate response to it, as a growing young man. And then when I became a man, I could more effectively deal with it, be more present with it. Good morning, Brother Dan. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, friend? Oh, we're talking about being asleep, awake, and aware in the context of the person that is asleep could be the passenger on the plane that knows nothing about it. The person that's awake would be the engineer that knows everything about the plane. And the person that's aware would be the pilot that knows everything about the plane and knows how to pilot it, how to steer this direction of life. And the fact that you're all three of them and you're playing different roles at different times, and what role we're choosing to play right now. I feel like that's such a beautiful little package. Here is an idea. Hmm. Thank you, Mount. I was I was not strapped for something to carry right now. But I guess here we are. Thank you, brother, for joining me. This whole joint was rolled without intention. Sleep, awake, aware. I wish I could give you a month of uninterrupted sleep. It's coming though. Maybe we need to wave across the river soon. Please, friend. I'm so happy that you're sending that love as well. If only we could. If only we could, like, give someone sleep. Be like, okay, I'm just gonna sleep like 14 hours tonight, and I'm gonna send Eden like 6 hours of sleep. Would be sick. Would be so sick. I would 100% do that. Be like, someone is tired. Say no more. Suddenly, like, and technically, in the space that we're in, each of us would only have to sleep like 10 more minutes, and we could send someone hours of sleep. How cool would that be? Accidentally blocked you. Rara, thank you for joining us. And unblocked you while commenting. Can you see this? I can see it at least. When I had the big breakup, I almost felt unworthy of love. All of the pain centered on that. Yes, missing them, but mostly shame. No lie, these friendship here have cancelled all of those myths and lies about being unworthy. You are so worthy, Shell. I just had to say that right off the bat. And I appreciate and respect you for saying that as well, and you being willing to admit that it's shame. What are you ashamed of? Are you ashamed of picking the wrong partner? Are you ashamed of the time that you spent on them? Are you ashamed of the relationship not working the way that you thought it would and admitting that you don't know everything? Are you ashamed of the relationships outside of that relationship judging you for not making that relationship work? And then realizing all of those levels of shame are illusion because you're the one that got to experience that relationship. You're the one that got to have those times. You're the one that's learning this lesson, that's having this moment of perspective in your life. All of that experience you had with that person was absolutely divine experience. And because it has ended, doesn't mean that it's, all for naught. It was for what it was. And in the moment that it was, it was. It was this moment. And it was a beautiful moment that you had. And now you have this moment. And you're going to have moments in the future. But all you can do is be present. You can be aware of this moment. Awake to the beautiful nature of this moment and then sleep into the understanding that you're not separate from it. Melt into the understanding that you're not separate from it. Oh, so much. So much love. This guy still going strong. Good stuff, buddy. Going strong, dude. Never gonna stop. Like I'm serious. Like I'm actually serious about it, and I think about it so much. Like we're going to be able to experience all of the craziness that life is gonna hold together. We're gonna have the opportunity to see into each other's lives as we figure out how to deal with the insanity that will be our future worlds. And we get to see one another transform, we get to see one another grow, and this whole stream, the Meltmore name, gets collapsed into an infinity symbol. Two M's stacked on top of one another becomes an infinity symbol. Like I see it everywhere now. I see it when I close my eyes. I see it when I look at trees. I see it in the grass. And I feel like it's almost like I've imprinted it on myself now, basically. Just look for infinity. And then I'm like, huh, neat. Infinity is there as well. I know, but now I see. Oh, goodness. Life. Our ability to literally transform our entire experiences is visceral. It's very powerful. And setting intentions, I think, is one of the most important parts of that. Writing down things you're grateful for. The work of art I made, is literally packed with things I'm grateful for. Like I had these strips of paper that I wrote down. Ek is dankbaar vir julle. I am thankful for you. And then I have those pieces of paper now put up as the work of art. Wherever you look, infinity is there. Yes. Yes. Thank you. And you're the other side of that infinity. You're the other side of that infinity. You can agree with me that in all your life you have never been able to experience the full depth of your being. And in all your life you will never be able to experience the full, is it depth still? Sure, depth of the external world. You as the center of infinity. It's like the luckiest thing that you could ever have is you. I love you, friends, to bits. Just like let's the monkey shaking the cage come out a little bit. Okay, monkey, you calm now. Too much. Oh, man, that's spicy. Okay, done. Sometimes a breakup can sting more and feel more difficult if I can quantify. Because with death, the person is gone. Literally does not exist anymore. With breakups, our heart knows that that person is not gone, just gone from our lives. Again, again, Heather, where do we draw the line? Are they only a part of our lives when we get to be around them immediately? Because I've thought about I have like two exes recently, and when I think of them, I just think loving thoughts. I'm like, I hope that they're doing well. I hope that they're thriving. I know that we weren't supposed to be together because of the stuff that I'm doing in my life right now, but I hope that you're okay. And the recognition that they are still the same, divine consciousness that I am means to me that if I can wish that good stuff onto them and they are experiencing good stuff, it's not really that different to me experiencing the good stuff. So why am I sad about that loss when they're still an infinitely beautiful person themselves, experiencing all of infinity? I might not be a part of that infinite perspective, but then if I really get myself worked up about that, again, it's selfishness of me being like, oh no, I should be the only one. Yeah. No, there's so much. There's so much. Shoop, 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 and then these two eyes in it, having a little bit of a squiggly. Kartha is here with us again, saying, busy doing things, and I can't stay, but I wanted to send you some good energy. Much love, Melt. Have a great day. Hopefully, I can actually chat next time. Cheers. Cheers to you, friend. Thank you for joining us for even a moment. It was nice having you here. Our dear friend who said, people are bigger on the inside comes to mind. That was Aunt B. I do believe it was Aunt B. Our view of infinity may differ, but we all see from our own perspective. We can expand our insides and extend our reality. Yo, that feels like a line straight from a book I want to write, dude. Beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Do you want to be a single point focused, or do you want to open your perspective? Melt more. If you feel like joining, friends, I'm lighting a candle for Finn today, and I'll keep it burning. Thank you so much, Kira Burr. Please do. After the loss of a colleague a few years ago, other colleagues were talking and saying how at their funeral they would want someone dressed as death standing at the door checking people in. Like, that's probably where, no, 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 like, Mr. Smith, we see you in 3 years. Mrs. J, see you next month. Dr. Dibley, here, you're overdue. I should have seen you 2 weeks ago. Goodness, that's so brutal. That is so brutal. I would love to play that role. I would just be the most friendly death ever. I'd be like, "Oh, hi, Mister Sir, Mister Gentleman, Sir, you." I know, I would lose my mind. I would just sitting, I was just straight up like burst out laughing. And people would be like, "Huh, you're joking us, aren't you?" Yes, yes, in fact, I am. That's probably where I'll hang up love. No, absolutely not. No hanging up love. Cannot be hung up. You are the quintessential essence of love. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to experience it. You're a beautiful soul, and I'm sorry you ever feel unworthy. Like sees like, blushing. Thank you for sharing some love with us, friend. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Lobster. Always. Here's something I really need to when I tune in. My condolences to everyone about the loss. Thank you, Lobster. We appreciate your love as well, friend. Just you finding yourself here, showing up every single day as an opportunity for serendipity. So we've had it, friend. You know, like it's become true. Thank you for joining us, friend. You good? I hope so. I do believe he is. Thank you, Breaker, for sharing love. I love that. Lobster darling. Is this fairly new situation? Maybe she just needs some time to protect things. She could be struggling with jealousy, maybe. Maybe. Like that's the first thing that I thought about. And then I was like, it's either jealousy or it's, a not want. An aversion to having friends with kids because they won't be able to do the things with you that people without kids do or something like that. And I was like, either of those reasons are pretty shallow. So I was like, maybe it's better that Blushing lost his friend. And like that's just some of the stuff that the mind goes through as soon as you experience a bit of information. So thank you for asking as well. I don't think it matters either. Again, it's the same as the death. It doesn't really matter because all that really matters is the good parts, the moments of love that was shared. And if you can hold on to that instead of thinking about the separation, then you are still connected in mind, where all connection happens. Mm, we're people, but not people. Weirdly enough, Edgen, your username is 22 in it, and your message came through 22 minutes ago. So maybe we are people, right? But there is a part of us that is not people. Okay? Like in this way that we've been growing up, our awareness have completely become identified with being a people. Your ego of like, oh yes, I am this person. I identify with this sound. No more. It sounds like that. Okay, this is what I identify with. It says, and then it creates a story of like, oh, I've experienced such and such, and then I did so, and then such and such happened, and then I lived in this way, and then so and so, and then you start telling yourself a story around this ego that you're building. But fundamentally, you cannot do any of that unless you have that awareness, that ability to perceive your reality, to be like, yes, I am. I am that I am. Without I am something something, just I. That part of you is not people. Because when all of the people things go away, when all of your senses become one sense, when you melt into yourself, you are just that oneness, fundamentally. And you're experiencing what it's like to be a person, what it's like to be a people. Thank you. 2222. I've been seeing you. I haven't seen you in a while. I was wondering about you, miss your streams. I've been doing a bit better lately. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Punk Rock Lobster. Sharing some love with you as well, friend. It's been a while since seeing you. We're in Canada and we need a passport to leave the country, of course. Of course. Yes, I want to go to different country. Okay. You have a small little book for us? Your passports are pretty dope though. I can at least I think so. I think I've seen photos of the Canadian passport and it's like an actual psychedelic piece of equipment. Yeah, okay, yeah. Let me not get into that one. Mm, I'm going to make him a cup of tea, Earl Grey. That sounds amazing, Michelle. Hey, it's Lieutenant Dan. Thank you for joining us for the band. How are you doing? We're like 20 minutes from one another, but need a passport to visit. I love that. Yeah, like I wasn't even gonna get into that, Kira, for her, but I'm like, but why? But why are you like this? Hello there. Yes, I'll do the same. Words are a struggle to output since tacos aren't the current input. Love y'all. Love you, Fred. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I didn't know if you'd enjoy this, Melt. But there's a movie with Kate Hudson and Kathy Bates called A Little Bit of Heaven, where she is told she is dying and has X amount of time left. She plans her own funeral and dance party, and it's interesting to watch. It sounds pretty intriguing, I won't lie. But just that enough? That was beautiful story enough. I was in my mind the whole movie has been watched. Love you, thank you, important dude. It's nice to have you here, friend. I took 10 days off the internet. My head was playing tricks on me, but today it's going to be baller. Send love. Ziggy and I are going shopping soon and I'll stream his sass. How nice of you to join, here after 10 days of not doing internet. Oh, dude, I was tripping out. The internet was getting to me a little bit. And I mean, unironically, like, who knows what the future holds, yo. So, dude, I'm happy that you can actually have that self control, taking that time off. You're treating yourself well, man. I see and respect that. Mel, can you reflect on the line between processing, which we must do, and observing to self harm? Hmm. I need to reflect your words again. Mel, can you reflect on the line between processing, which we must do, and observing to self harm? Obsessing to self harm. Maybe that's why I don't understand. Obsessing to self harm. So, so, self harm. I learned how to channel. I learned how to channel it into exercise, where I'm like, oh, you want to hurt, you want pain, huh? How about you do 50 push-ups right now, and then by the 33rd or something you're like and you're like, please stop, and then you stop and then you have this melting experience, extreme relief. And that is where I find, I think, one of the lines, obsessing about self-harm, how I took care of that, which we must do. I feel that is the part of us that's awake, right? Where we know. We're not only aware of what we must do, but we're awake enough to actually know what needs to be done. And that takes showing up, I believe, at least. For whatever this thing is that you're awake about that needs to be done, you just show up with that. And then processing. Processing, I feel, is something I allow a lot of time for. Like, basically, maybe maybe 70% of my time I allow for processing, to actually just spend some time with the information that I've gained and really integrate. Otherwise, I lose my mind. So that's my reflection on that. I don't know if that helps, Michelle. Sometimes breaks are important. Glad you're back. Glad you're back, friend. It's nice to have you here as well, Lobster. I don't think we've ever seen you're a deal breaker in our chat, but it's so nice having you here. You've been a beautiful co-creator. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. I choose the Monsters Inc. line. Wait to put it away. You have no idea how much I love that line, Kira. Like, that's, I think, one of my favorites. You put that thing back where it came from, or so help. Mike Wazowski. Can't wait to watch. Thank you for sharing that love as well, Kira. The characters adjust differently to the realization that she will soon be gone. Some lean in, some try to pull away. I don't want to give it all away unless anyone wants to watch it but have tissues. Like it's so interesting to me because we die in different ways. You know, and I feel when I had to go to China, there was definitely a death happening. Like at the last festival I went to. You know, we all had taken some psychedelics. I took some mushrooms, I believe. Either mushrooms or acid, you know, only the psychedelics. And I had extreme lower back problems. Like I for some reason dump, I believe the terminology goes, into my lower back, and there was so much tension and pain in that scenario of me, you know, leaving my friend group to go to a different country for a year plus. That a year was the minimum that I was gonna go for. It was a little bit jarring, you know, and there was this death in it as well, and there was also this some lean in, some try to pull away scenario happening. So I feel it's human nature, and it was difficult dealing with that human experience. Like I think about stuff like that, and I'm like, was it even my choice to go to China? I don't remember. I don't remember being equipped enough to make good decisions at that age. But I mean, you know, I went there as a 20-year-old. Goodness, man, what a trip. Hey, Lisa's here with us. Thank you for joining us. Kira Burbs is sending love, sending love. Sami says, don't know if you watch wrestling, but you look like a mixture of Hangman Adam Page and MJF from AEW. No, I don't. I don't watch any wrestling, but I had to channel the wrestling energy, friend, and it came through a little bit at least. Sending you love. Thank you for seeing patterns, friend. Like you're seeing the infinity expressed in different ways. I must be extremely unfortunate. I've held the hand of three people as they took their last breaths. I've held two stillborn babies. A child took care. A child I took care of passed at age 6, and we lost 7 family members under age 40. And you see, just hearing those words, Heather, just shows to me how powerful the human being is, how powerful you are. Like I hear that information and I'm like, "Oh, I would just, you know, roll up into a small little line and then clip out of the universe." You know, that would happen to me. And yet here you still are, Heather. Still being such a loving being. Still sharing perspective, still sharing insights, sharing good energy. Love is true. I appreciate you so much. My dad passed 11 years ago. We did a celebration of life. People bought food from a potluck, their drinks of choice, etc. We played his favorite songs, and everyone, 300 people, wore Dallas Cowboy gear. People got up and said their favorite memories. Yo, that sounds beautiful. That sounds so beautiful, blushing. Thank you for even sharing the imagery. I appreciate that. I must be extremely. Oh, I think I've already read one. No, I don't think you're unfortunate. I think you're strong. I think you're very strong, Heather. The anecdote is about my dad. It was pretty heartwarming and endearing. I can only imagine. I would love to do something like that for my dad as well. Is that a dark thought to have? Oh, yes. My dad's funeral someday. Being awake. Being aware. Right? That's what it is. Oh, dad will never die. Dad will never die. Dad will I die. Right? Oh, goodness. If anything, it just makes me aware that I should love him as much as I can right now. You have that to share in with each other, as you do as well, Dan. On the flip side, my kiddos have had to learn how to live through the death of five people they were very close to. I wouldn't have chosen that for them, but they truly have learned a lot about what's important and how to love those who are still here. It's becoming a part of their genetic code, even, Kira Burb. Like they're literally growing on a quantum level the ability to deal with grief effectively and to turn that grief into love for the people that are still here, as you're saying. Like that is to me again just such a beautiful thing. Need to head off to see the baby girl. Love you, brother Bay. Have a good time. The beautiful blushing. That's beautiful blushing. I'm so happy that you were able to remember him in such an uplifting and honoring way. Right? Absolutely. The shame that I felt from believing that I was somehow so terrible that they all don't want me around. But the shame was an illusion. It was never me. Hmm. Michelle, thank you for sharing that. I feel that's the truth in all of our hearts. You are worthy, friend. You are so worthy of love. And you're going to find the love that you deserve. We all will. It might take some time. It might take you giving up. As soon as you really stop that search, as soon as you really stop that striving for, you're going to be ready for it. And it's information that I still have a hard time coming to terms with myself as well. And yet I feel I have. At least in my actions. Patience. Within infinity, the hourglass. Within the hourglass, time. Within time passing, within passing change, within change, now. So beautiful. Write your book. Now's the time to do anything. Oh, I've been writing the book, friend. Our dear friend who said, hold on. I believe we must come the end of ourselves to discover where we actually begin. After everything else melts away, you know what you are. And sometimes life will literally rip the things you think you are away from you. We can have stuff like that happen to us in meditation, in yoga, in breath work, in chanting, in psychedelic experiences, in conversations, in breakups, in separations from partners and family. Parts of yourself that you thought you were literally melts away in front of your eyes. And yet there you are. There you are. Everything else can melt away. And there you are in this moment, aware, awake, and asleep. In this moment, into infinity. Yeah, it melts you. It actually melts you. And even if you melt, you can just melt more because you're ceaseless. There's yet more layers to unpeel. Oh, look. Oh, here I am. Oh, here I am. Oh, actually, here, actually, here I am. Now, here never going to find the deepest part of yourself, and yet we're trying to. We're actually trying to find the deepest part of ourselves, trying to become the most that we can be. You are so loved, Michelle. Thank you, my friend, for sharing love. Enjoy your time. Let us cherish this day. It really is a gift. Every single one of you, friends, are the gift at this moment. Absolutely. I feel that, also, I hear that, and now I am rethinking and remembering. 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 Oh, that word. I wish I could smoke a joint with you. You can. You can, friend. You can be smoking a joint with me right now on your side of the world, which is even more of a trip if you really think about it. Like two people sitting in conversation, smoking a joint at the exact same time, having the exact same THC experience, being uplifted to the 420 frequency, however you want to see it, and then having this moment, and we can manifest to have this moment in person. It's just a matter of time. Even if it doesn't happen in this whole lifetime, if we manifest hard enough, it can happen in the next. Aaron Gray. It already has happened. An infinite layers, dude. It's all the layers. Thank you. I'm sharing so much love with you, friend. I'm just trying to be a little bit comical about it now. Perfectly, Burb. I surely hope so. I felt devastation, but was also honored. One was an elderly gentleman that was alone. I didn't know him prior to the 4 hours we spent together. I hope I did him justice. I'm sure you did, Heather. Just having someone there, and again, no matter who that someone is, it's going to be an infinitely beautiful experience. No matter who it is, because it's going to be both sides of creation. Unity separated so that it could be, so that it could experience reunification. Unity separated so it can experience reunification. And being in this life can be that separation, and the death can be the reunification. And then having a clear, you know, exchange of that reunification of another person in your last moments is that again. So you're having it on both sides. You're acknowledging that infinity. What's up, brother? Oh, we're melting. We're absolutely melting right here. How about you, Uncle Becky? How's your back doing, friend? How's work been treating you? I believe because of the end. I agree. Again, Dan. Mm, Today is a dark day outside. Dark day in chat. Today, a giant breath for all of you. So much love. I'm exploding. I feel it as well. Like my heart feels so full. Your friends are sending so much good stuff. I hope you feel it. The good stuff I'm trying to send you as well. Keep exploding with love. Yeah, melt. Absolutely melt all of it out. Love, 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 love. You cannot stop. I can watch me shave and laugh with me. Lol. I do not claim to be people. No. Yeah. Who said that? Who said that? Who? Tell me right now. The stream really helped my perspective. Thank you, Brother Estian. Thank you, Sister Kira. I appreciate you, friend. Back is doing better than I hoped for. Yes, dude. Don't you know? Don't you know, Uncle Becky? We should hope for better than we can imagine. You know? Like, not only will my back be better, but my back will become even more powerful. So powerful, in fact, that I would be able to, torque a tank just with my core and lower back muscles. Hold on to the tank. Pivot the whole thing on its tracks. Dragging it through the dirt. Super powerful. Sending you so much love, Brandon. Like I genuinely believe, dude, not only with us going into the future and technology getting better, but with us being able to consciously, edit our bodies, edit our genes, we're going to manifest the best lives, the best bodies, the best perspectives, the best realities that we could even imagine. And it's just about believing that now. Like actually believing it. Not being like, yes, this is possible. I'm sure it is. But being like, yeah, this is possible. I'm sure of it. Like we should just do it. Well, the people grief breaks up more because the end is still the individual is still alive, but oddly helped me view death differently. I never wanted to keep someone alive longer, suffering to prevent my suffering. It's a gift to let someone go free of pain and guilt. It really is. It really, really is, Heather. And that's the way I think of, death as well now. To just, if that infinite loop is completed, to allow them to. to tell them that you appreciate them and they don't need to hold on, if they don't want to. Just stand on the brick and Kira. I will tell you from the other side. There we go. Got a bag of psychedelic passports in the house. Much, 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 much. Super psychedelic passports. Like, and I think if you put them under UV, they like gain another layer of psychedelicness. It's crazy. Lisa, you just stand on the bridge and Kira. I think I've already read it one twice now. It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that love. Genuinely, Heather. Sister. Hey, yeah, Bonnie McMurray. It's nice to have you here. Nice Hawk as well. You can also cross off a man taking a shit watching your video and smoke that line. Yes, you can, friend. But I only smoke a little bit of it at a time because you don't need that much, actually. Especially if you're having a conversation. I feel much is a little bit too much, right? But smoking a little bit at a time, maybe a puff, maybe two. Do I want to be sleeping, awake, or aware? And then setting attention again, bringing your mind back. John McQueen, it's nice to have you here, friend. Thank you for reflecting with us. Goo, it's nice to have you. How are you doing? You don't know me, John. I don't my maybe not know the you that you think you are, but I know the you that you always are. It's the same I that I think I am, the same I that I think I am underneath the person that I think I am, the persona that I identify with, and that's the part of you that I want to reference every single time. Is that I don't claim to know you or your life or the things that you've been through. And all of the things that you've been through in your life is the lesson, is the teacher, is the experience that you're learning from. All I'm doing is addressing the awareness inside of you, trying to bring your attention to the awareness inside of you and give you power that way. I believe that we're all more empowered if we realize how we think, why we think, the power we have to think, and the power we have to think differently about ourselves and about our external realities. And by practicing that power, we and our external realities change with us. Like, and I'm trying to live that truth, and I'm living it with you, friends, because I'm seeing it happen for you too. It's a it's a surreal infinity. Like, we've created an infinite experience that have never been had before. What the hell? What the hell, human beings? Are we human beings? Melt is right. You are still so strong, precious, and kind despite those hardships. You didn't let it harden you. Exactly. Still beautifully. Still beautifully, Heather. Do you have a job? I do, Fred. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job, Fred. Got to see Haywire Hill kids. I'm happy now. Love them goatees. Oh, thank you for sharing even the imagery with me. I appreciate that, Servinia. No blushing. I could never. I'm silly. I'm that. I'm empathetic or something. I'm high school. My boyfriend in high school. My boyfriend's grandpa passed. I was slobbery crying, shivering mess at the funeral. I'd never met him. You were just feeling that empathy, like being a complete open channel to it. Even so true. Love you, blushing. Thank you for the love. Thank you, friends. Did they stream? Thank you, John, for the joy as well. Uncle Becky was on YouTube. It just ended. Was he on YouTube? Okay. Like I actually like maybe sent a message after he finished his YouTube stream. I'm still I still laugh thinking about that funeral. They must have thought I was insane, but hey, that gentleman is still being remembered by me, a stranger, years later. Exactly. Just a thought away. That emotional response that you had is still beautifully there. I'm still laughing, thinking about. I think all of your messages are coming through twice, Heather. Oh, I understand it completely. But are you self-conscious? Yes. Yes. I'm self-conscious. Are you? Are you self-conscious? Or do you or the like the self-conscious of am I worried that people would judge me? Maybe sometimes, you know. I guess I'm just human. But I try not to be, friend. I feel like that self-consciousness is just a limiting factor of like, oh, I could be doing all of these things. But if I do all of these things, I would be so out of the norm of all of these things that have been done. What will people say? And then being like, well, let's find out. Let's find out what people will say. Instead of being like, no, people are going to say horrible things. So, yeah, just turn that self consciousness, into a positive. You were still on when I came out. I'm not sure either. Mel, those layers and lies of we all have the capacity and capability to be good, kind, loving, forgiving, righteous, and human. That's what we have to do. Like that's where it starts. That's where it starts. And it's so beautiful that you bring that up, Blushing. Because if we don't have that, if we don't have those fundamentals done first, then the rest of it doesn't actually feel that good. It's almost like you don't allow yourself the vibrational frequency to even reach it. Like being good, being kind, being loving, forgiving, righteous, and being human. Just having your human experience and not being judgeful of that. Not being, in a state of shame, guilt. This is what we're here for. We just have to use our opportunity for the good. Come here, what we came to do. Share light. Are you close to Kira? I hope so. I do believe so. A little bit, maybe. So, for a fun funeral story, my great grandpa's pastor at the funeral sounded exactly like Elmer Fudd. Yes, Elmer Fudd. Instantly, the voice comes into, comes into my head, yeah, for sure. My mom made us sit in the back, and we didn't know why until he spoke. Never laughed so hard in my life. I wish I had that voice in my head now. For some reason, I'm thinking nasally. Like, that's the only reason that I can think kids would laugh at the voice. Oh, but Mary sounds like this. I don't know if this is what he sounded like. But I feel it's mean to even make those sounds. Oh, yes, Lisa. I'm a few hours from Kira, a few hours away, not near enough. Sitting at the back wouldn't have helped. It was there. I've been laughing so loud it would echo all around the place. Mm. People were in tears. So were we from laughing. I feel like we set it up for purpose for one last dad joke. That is pretty fire actually. I love that so much. Humor in dark times is my favorite. It is beautiful. It helps. And it's something that we do almost naturally as well. It's like we as human beings have this response to extreme tragedy to try and make some sort of joke or light of it. Is it denial? I'm like trying to figure out if it comes from a lower place in us to laugh at something that's painful, or if it comes from a higher place in us to laugh at something that's painful. And I feel like my initial response is from a higher place, the cosmic giggle type of experience, where you're like, oh, reality, oh, oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. And then I get eaten. Okay, and then she lives, and then she births me, and then I get eaten. Then okay. Oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, death and Rena go. Oh. That kind of thing. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where the laughing comes from. Just being willing to admit to your power, to what you are. Stelly's girl. It's hard to deal with shame. Is she actually a Stelly's girl? God, it is hard to deal with shame because it's something that's self-created, and you usually have some sort of reason for it. It's like your logical mind creates a narrative around why you should be ashamed, and if you're doing something to hurt other people, maybe there's some truth to the shame, you know, and it's your truth at the end of the day as well. But if you're ashamed of yourself for being you, that is not something that serves you right. And why does that happen in the first place? I feel it's just a narrative. Like we've created a neat set of roles that we're allowed to play as human beings. And then if you're not playing that role, you should be ashamed. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. They're lying. They're lying to you. That's great stuff. You're great stuff, friend. Laughing through tears is my favorite emotion. Dolly Parton in Steel Magnolias. Truvy. I straight over my head, unfortunately. You should only be ashamed of your wrongdoings, not for being you. Don't be ashamed of liking this band or that thing or doing that you enjoy or doing what you enjoy as long as it's not hurting in nature. Yeah, exactly. If you're not hurting yourself or hurting other beings, then you should be allowed to do whatever it is you want to do. You know? Do whatever you want, just don't hurt people. Don't hurt nature would be a beautiful way to say it as well. It's a I think, you know, as soon as you added just the nature, it's like, oh shit. Now I cannot walk over the grass because I'll probably step on a bunch of ants. So there's layers again. There's layers, and who are we to say, you know, which is which? But then the infinity consumes itself. Yeah, it just yeah, that's you. You cannot escape it, unfortunately. Laughter can help overcome some of the most powerful emotions, but we have to be open to it. Sometimes people will just find it inappropriate. Others will let the laughter wash over them to heal them from what other feelings they have. And I even believe that other people's laughter could heal you. Like just hearing that laughter, having those laughter frequencies projected over you, even that would be able to be healing, at least in my mind. Hey, dude. Thank you for joining us, friend. It's nice to have you here. Thank you for being here and sharing your time. Melt and chat, thank you, Blushing, for your time, friend. It's so nice to have you. Studies, thank you for joining us as well, my friend. Love you, friend. We all heal, grieve, communicate in different ways. And if you want to laugh, laugh. If you don't, if you need to cry, cry. Some people go right to anger. It's okay as long as it comes out. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. Like it really is an important lesson that we've learned. Allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to feel the things that you were supposed to feel. Don't shy away from any of it. Invite all of it. Really, invite all of it. Be like, oh, wait, pain, come and sit here. Have some tea. Oh. What's up, pain? What are you doing, city girl? What are you doing? You destroying things? What is this, Pippy Pips? What is this thing? Like now you can see on the YouTube, she's chewing on little cocoa peat potters. Is that what you would call them? Little potting containers. Thank you, friends, for sharing this moment. This time, I'm the same with nature. I can't kill bugs anymore. I don't step on bugs intentionally anymore. You know, I don't find any trouble with them anymore. I have this extreme amount of respect. Like even a stink bug recently, and was just chilling on a tree, and he had this little infinity symbol on his back, and I like took a photo of it, and I was like, oh, beautiful stink bug. And usually, like a stink bug in my mind was obviously a stink bug, and I appall, you know, horrible smell. So I was very against the stink bugs, and now I was just like, oh, you got a nice little stink bug. It looks beautiful. I agree, and laughter is infectious. I wanted to force a laugh, and I was like, no, rather not. I'm gonna post some laugh vids to Discord today. Thank you, thank you. Maybe we should just do a little bit. feels a little bit forced. There's a little bit, but there's a little bit of a laugh track for you as well. Thank you, friends, for laughing, for being awake, for being asleep, for being aware. Wherever you are, and you are loved and appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you, friends, again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, beloved friends.